June 12th.
Okay, Barb.
Okay. Tom Sherrar.
Yep.
Jason Whirling.
Yep.
Sherry. Beth.
Yep.
Dave. Sean.
Here.
Annette.
Here.
Tandra.
Here.
Larry. Barb. Here. Devin. And Bernie.
Here.
All right, look over, supposed to be January minutes. Any corrections or deletions or,
Other than the January.
like dates wrong?
So we got to change
I
the
move
date
we accept.
with the correction of the date.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Sean.
I guess I did technically.
Okay, moving on there, Jason.
All right, as of 3 hours ago, we just finished up our 2022 Ohio Parks and Recreation Association Conference at Kalahari. A lot of information, we're still digesting it, and I think we all kind of attended some different forums. There wasn't much that we both, or all three of us went to. And we, Sunday started out with the small agency forum, which was basically, seemed like a lot of local groups, but Bell Fountain was one of the ones included in that one. And that was Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, up until 1 o'clock today, we had different things. So I didn't know if there's anything that you two wanted to touch on that, from the conference, that stood out with, or if we just kind of digest still, because we just got
Yes.
done with it and then
I'm
came
still
back
in
to
conference brain. I can't process anything right now.
a lot of good ideas and a lot of things we can move forward with things that we're already doing.
I think the conference, what I took from it is, well, there were some things that we need to bring our agency up to, things that we've had, that either have been missed or we haven't done that we need to do to, make ourselves compliant and things like that. But very easy and very fixable. So I think that was a benefit to go to the concert, so.
Training, certification, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, anything else?
No? Not from OPRA? Mills Creek Golf Course.
So we still do have the cart path for 1 and 2, the money we received from Erie Metro Parks, that we received the extension. Our goal was to have it done last week. Obviously, 13 inches of snow did not help. I spoke with Scott Cromer today. We're going to reevaluate next week, because it looks like we're going to have a warm-up, but then it's supposed to drop down again. So if we do that, we think we can get it done. We'll be able to do the digging. They said that's a 1-day project, and then they'll come through and they'll stone it. And then we're going to do the grindings, but the grindings may not get done right away, but we definitely would have the stone. So we would have 1 and 2 completed. 1 would be on the left-hand side, going between 1 and 9. It would go back, connect to the turnaround by the white tees, come up to the senior tee, cross over, and then follow the tree line back. So that's where that would go. So we're waiting on that. Scott said he would just touch base again with me next week. Carts, I have a call into Tony from Lake Erie Carts. I know Jason had contacted them in last month when we were finalizing an agreement, and they were still in a holding pattern. So I just wanted to see where we stood in the holding pattern for the carts, because I believe with our lease agreement, our first payment is supposed to be made, I believe April 1. So If we're not getting them, obviously, we know we would have to do some adjustments to our lease agreement, so. And that's that information. The only other final piece that I have about mills is we are still in negotiations with the diocese. I believe it's going very well from what I was informed of, and hopefully we'll have a report next month. Mr. Holliday, Jonathan will be here to make that presentation to the board. Any other questions?
No? All right.
Moving on.
The J.C. Park ice skating rink, as of about an hour and a half ago, is pretty slushy. You'll have that when you get up to 40 degrees in temperatures. So we'll see if it refreezes once we hit those lower temperatures later this week and take a look at it. We had an issue with when it was just about to freeze, that somebody went in through there and walked through, and the ice got broken up and was kind of jagged all through the middle section of it. So our Scott and his crew, Scott Cromer and his crew, were working on it. Then we also had the fire department come out and add some water to the top to try and smooth it out. It was the best that it could be at that time, but now it's slush. It's got a couple inches of slush on top, so hopefully we can get that back operational. Any questions on the J.C. Park ice rink?
Moving on.
Ironman update, just talked with them on a Teams call earlier this week. They're making a visit each month up here, the group that is running the event. So we talk about once every 2 weeks, and they're here on site. They're looking for a volunteer coordinator. I've got a couple people that I gave them names for. It's basically the person that comes in. It's a paid position. It's a stipend. But what that person would do is coordinate all the volunteers that come in for that event, to anything from water stops to being out in a kayak during the swim portion of the event. So if you know anybody that's interested in that, that's a reliable person that can coordinate volunteers, let me know. They are naming a new race director for it. They had somebody that was going to be their race director that is getting moved to a different race, so we're going to get a new race director. Said that this guy's doing the one that there's in Muncie, so he's had an event that's in an area similar to ours, Great Lakes region. And then another decision was made about using both the Jackson Street Pier, that will be the main hub for the event, but the transition area now, which would be where the swimmers come out of the water, will be at the Paper District Marina, and then all the bikes will be parked at the marina, so they'll come out of the water, get on their bike, head out on the course into Sandusky County, come back, and they bring their bike back and then go out for the run from the marina and finish. We haven't figured out the set finish spot yet in downtown Sandusky. It would probably be Columbus Avenue or Shoreline Drive.
What's the date on it, Jason?
That July 24th, Sunday, July 24th. Does that mean you can't volunteer or participate in the event? You're shaking your head.
I'll be in New York.
So,
We weren't favorites, or he wasn't.
we will be looking for volunteers for that, so once we get that volunteer coordinator in there, I'll have more information.
Great.
It's just a one-day event.
One-day event. It'll be about 3 to 4 days as far as like the check-in and the village, and there's an Iron Kids event that will be on that Saturday before, which will be, kids will run up and down Shoreline Drive and compete, and we're gonna have a program through Sandusky Rec that'll get some kids running and training for that too.
The actual event, one day.
One-day event, yep.
Anything else on our old business?
Jason, what are the distances they're going to compete at?
1.2 mile swim that would either go out from Columbus, the end of Columbus Ave at the Sandusky Bay Pathway sign right there. Goes out in an L, kind of toward the coal docks, in that protected area where the breakwater is. And then they'd come back up probably through the, this is all tentative, so if,
Right.
and then the bike is 56 miles that goes out to the west of town, out through almost to Clyde, and then comes back in, and then the bike will be mostly in the downtown area. And that's 13.1.
Is there a golf cart portion of this?
We can get you on a golf cart as a volunteer.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Got to keep the electric bikes off of the course, too.
Yeah, yeah.
You're in Tiger Woods.
All right, moving on to new business.
Peer programming, just giving you an update, we're moving the movies to Mondays. We're hoping that we have our sponsor that we had last year come back for that. We've got a tentative schedule of what movies we want to show. And then we'd also like to get a couple movies out in the parks. So we'd have something maybe at Lions Park, at JC Park. And those wouldn't be on the Mondays. Those would be kind of like some additional park movie nights with that Firelands Health LED screen that we have. And then Party at the Pier Thursdays, working on the agreement with Advantage Entertainment to have the same kind of setup we had last year where he books the bands and handles the audio and all the lighting and everything that goes on with those events. We are bringing in, I talked with Judy Corso about moving the art walk to the pier on I think it's the 2 Thursdays. She's going to look at an additional one, but at least the August and September dates for Party at the Pier, we'd have the art walk right outside the Mylander Pavilion, so you'd have an art walk and a concert and kind of coincide with each other. She's going to look at maybe doing the July date, but they usually don't do an art walk on the Thursday of 4th of July because they do the Stars and Stripes Festival. So, but she said she's going to check with the group, and maybe they'll do that one too. Any questions on the pier stuff? Go into spring and summer planning, and Tandra has a couple different new things that were in the fire, irons in the fire.
You want to remind me? I'm in Jelly Brain.
Jelly brain.
Yeah, so I think one of them may be with the Sandusky Library with Juneteenth, their history walk that we're going to add to that event, which I'm pretty excited about that. And we're going to focus on the history of the Black Sanduskians. So a lot of people don't know a lot of the his history and the first Black doctor in Sandusky. I wouldn't know who that was if it wasn't for the library and what the records that they've kept. So we're going to have that on the pier for Juneteenth on a one-day event. And what else was it, Jason? A new collabo.
Maybe
I know. It's
I'm
conference.
having the brain too.
We've been in conference since Sunday.
I mean, we are bringing your Metro Parks back. Looks like they're going to have
Oh, yeah. The nature,
sort of a mobile nature feature that they can bring to the parks.
yeah, so they'll be bringing the nature van as a vehicle, some type of vehicle with some pretty interesting activities for the kids for the Park of the Week program. So I'm looking forward to that. I've still been trying to, as it relates to the Park of the Week program, trying to, I guess, maybe talk with Nicole more about getting the kids transported from other neighborhoods to the Park of the Week. And then we'll be able to provide the lunches for the kids for that time. Yeah. I know there's more new
Yeah.
collaborations, but I can't think of them right now.
Well,
We'll bring
we'll
them
have it
back
for the next meeting. Yeah.
next week, next meeting.
And Midtown Supper Club is
Yeah.
still going to come back sometime this year.
Yeah, Midtown Supper Club has been pushed back. I mean, nothing happens by mistake, and I think we're doing the right thing, but not forcing it and trying to make it happen somewhere where it's not cohesive and not impactful for the students that want to, that are interested in culinary. So, right now our target date is a April 4th date to begin Midtown Supper Club again, season 4. And Actually, Katie Karakin just reached out to me to set up a meeting next week for the chefs that'll be involved, which is Brad Kraft from Sandusky City Schools and Benny Vito from Zuperman is joining the team this year, so it should be pretty good menu for the kids to learn. I am entertaining Tap Fit. My Tap Fit tribe warriors are saying they're socially starving and they need to keep moving their feet, so I'm going to be looking at a March date just to maybe do a little pop-up maybe, or a tailored session, because I don't want to run into Midtown if that happens, because I'm kind of still in a holding pattern of what we're going to be able to do and when we can offer it.
Oh, the car show is back. We'll be, yeah, they'll be doing the Friday nights and then the weekend one. And first week in June, yeah, first or second week in June, first.
Fridays.
Yep. Friday nights, Washington Row. They really liked Washington Row.
Washington Row again?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna work with them on at least trying to get some access on Columbus through there, so we'll see if that can get that going.
That's all I got.
Anybody have any questions on the new business or anything in new business? Open discussion. The only thing I was going to mention is that we are ramping up our summer planning, so you'll be hearing from me about possible track meets that we need, Jackie, Mama Collins track meets, get those going. And maybe you have an Ironman component in there. I don't know, that might be something we can have the running part, get those kids doing that. And also shuffleboard, if we can get the Cliff Meyer tournament back this year and get that going. And be good to get some of these things back that haven't been here for a couple of years.
Good time for that, for sure. What time's the golf course going to open? When? March 1st?
Well, April 1st, well,
April
if we
1st.
can open March 1st, we will go ahead and do that. We're scheduled to bring our part-timers back in second week of March. That'll be your outside staff. But if it's nice in March and I'm out there, I'll open up.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Sign up for the Shamrock Scramble.
What's that?
Shamrock Scramble.
Yeah, we are going to have the Shamrock Scramble again this year. We had that last year and we had 13 teams last year. We actually had to turn teams away because we didn't have all of it, we didn't have enough operational carts. We had that card.
Who won that powers thing?
Who won that? Was,
McKenna's team, Tim McKenna's team.
McKenna's team won that? Or did they?
I thought.
I think they did, and we awarded prizes for 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
McKenna, Zapata, I can't remember who else golfed with them. But we're gonna do that on Sunday, March 20th. We're gonna go after, just to buy us a little time. Which, it'll be nice this year because we will already have the outside guys out there, so we'll have the course picked up of any debris or anything, and, cups removed. We did go and, we did just advertise for our weed spraying for an RFP. That went out, that's due next Friday. We did it as a 2-year RFP, so that's out there. And we did it for just the weed spraying, we did not do it for the dollar spot. We're gonna do the dollar spot as separate billing. So that's just our normal fertilize and weed control.
Our dollar spot alert system is here.
I actually am on a web, I have an email that it gives me where the areas where dollar spot is the highest, and it is pretty spot on.
If
No
they
pun
pop up
intended.
overnight.
Yeah.
The rain could be good one day and come back the next day with some rain.
Yeah, and we try to, as soon as we do see them, we try to get them out there, at least if we can try to do that.
I
So,
blame it on Larry.
Larry, dollar spot's wonderful. Yeah,
The cart path that you're talking about is going to be a nice addition.
I think it is. I think we really had a wet season last year, and I mean, our revenue was great. Obviously, we had a $21,000 increase, we ended up at $248,000. But I think, and those were days where we couldn't let carts out, you know, we lost some time because of that. We add a cart path, we gain those days where people can just stay on the cart path and walk to their mall. You know, it's gonna be a, you know, trying to make sure that they follow the rules of staying on a cart path is gonna be an issue.
Right.
We are gonna try to secure some rangers this year. So if you know of anybody that may be interested, we will probably do it as in exchange for golfing. So if anybody is interested, especially during our really heavy times, like weekends. So I've had a few inquiries. So we're in the process right now of seeing who's gonna come back from the staff as well, so,
But it's gonna lead to the whole course having a cart path, which is
yeah.
gonna be really nice.
Yeah, I mean, the plan is, at least to get this side of the creek, all of the current city-owned amount, get that completed with that. And we did 1 and 2 because that is the longest length of the cart path. The other ones, we can do some connecting, and we're going to connect 9 into 1 at the spoke where the hump is. We're gonna connect it over that way. So like I said, I think it will be a nice addition. And then in the wintertime, we'll be able to use that for walking, et cetera. So it'll be a nice loop that people could have walkable areas.
Maybe clear it for the sledders, so you're not tired by the time you get to the hill because you have
Yeah,
to trudge through all the
right.
snow to get there.
Yeah,
Especially when it's 6 foot deep, right?
exactly.
Any news on the cart barn? Like, at some point, we're gonna have to address that little garage with the maintenance.
Correct. I know that they have received a couple of quotes on it. They came in higher than they anticipated. So because they want to do, we had somebody come in and inspect it, and that to make sure that it was structurally okay. And then they were just going to do a replacement to the sides and the.
Cosmetic type, I'm not saying.
So that one came in. But we have.
Materials, yeah, pricing.
Materials was higher than they anticipated, so we looked at that. There's a possibility, Aaron Klein did come over, and there's a possibility that he has bid out a parking lot, and it looks like he may have some extra money that we'd be able to get one of our parking lots paved as well, which they're in need.
Right.
They really do need to it, so.
I got a question. Can you, I met with Derek, Stephen Pajala and I meet with him like every 7-8 days. He indicated to me that there's been ongoing talks now about with middle school as far as possible rec centers. Where's that at right now? You just did a walkthrough to look at it. Does that look like it's something that could work if we go that direction, I guess?
It'd be great if that's something that, we can use as a facility, yeah.
Okay.
It's a relatively new building, so.
Relatively,
Well-
if you compare it to Jackson and,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of our newer buildings.
Yeah. I worked there about 5 years, yeah. It's not that bad.
pretty close to the county's best 9-hole municipal golf course too.
That's right.
We do a lot in that building. You worked there with me back like 20 years ago.
17 years.
Wasn't you on the top left, right at the top of the steps there? Oh, yeah.
Anything else?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
You concluded, we meet, March 9th.